Call this meeting of the International Falls Koochiching Airport Commission to order. And the first item on the list is public comment. Anybody for public comment at this time?
Well, I'll speak.
Go ahead, Steve.
Steve Early. And I had heard that you guys were talking about vacating, I assume it was County Road 108. Is that accurate?
We were getting RFP done on that.
RFP for transient hangars.
Well, no, for the vacating the road too.
Oh,
Yeah, it was,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
So how far along are you guys on this?
What's that?
How far along are you on this?
We had just basically brought it up here about 2 meetings ago, I believe. We asked about it, and so we're like 2 meetings in, 2 months in.
Okay. Well, we've got land on that road.
Okay.
Almost 30 acres. So that was a pretty big concern for us. I hope that you don't go down that path. This is probably the third time that it's been brought up, and it's been dismissed each time. And I don't really understand why it's going forward. So what are the reasons?
Yep. Well, we're running out of room for hangars.
Okay.
The only area that we have would be going along this area here is what we're looking at right now. And what we found out at the last meeting would be the only reason we'd have to vacate that road would be if we were gonna put a large hangar.
So is there someplace else that large hangar could go that would take this road, which we have acreage on, and also which we use every day?
Well, it's more than just the big hangar, it's other hangars too. Making room for
The
other hangars, you know.
Yeah, the other hangars,
future
the
hangars.
engineers had said that you had room for them between the road and the taxiway. Isn't that accurate?
That is accurate.
Okay.
That is what we found out at the last meeting.
Okay.
If we were to go with the normal size hangars that people have over here, or correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, you might know more about it, would be that we wouldn't have to vacate that road with the normal size hangars. It would only be if we went with one, basically I think the size of what Wagner's is, it puts it in that area where it would require vacating that road to make the room.
Yeah, currently it shows like Group 1 airplanes, which are less than 49 feet wingspan, are able to fit there. But any other larger aircraft, there's no additional space outside of one additional spot on the existing taxi lane. After that, there's no room that is identified on the airport that can be suitable for a larger hangar without environmental effects. I think that's the catch, is that there's a lot of, you have a lot of real estate on the airport, but a lot of it has environmental concerns.
I have a question. Why can't you put them on Old Highway 11 south of the runway? There's water and sewer over there, and there's a lot of land there. It goes all the way down over the hill, and it would be, I'm sure, plenty far away. And it would run that whole south side of the main runway. They wouldn't be right here with all the buildings, but there's room. This is all wetlands, in case you haven't bothered to look. It's ash swamp. So the minute you get off that weather bureau area, you're getting into wetlands. Even on the inside the runway, you may have some trouble with the ditch running through there in the wetlands. But check over on Old Highway 11. They put all kinds of dirt along the road, but there's that whole rock goes back all the way to 2-2 just about. And it's all fenced in with a large fence and everything else. I don't know why anyone's not looking there. Like I say, water and sewer is on the road there at the top of the hill.
Sean, is there,
I'd
have you
have to
ever looked at that?
I'd have to look at the
Answer's no.
the planning study that identified spaces available. I think for airport property that's owned, I think we identified the locations, but we can certainly take a look at it.
Yeah. I mean, he brings up a good point with water and sewer over that way and all of that, so.
It's high land. It's on top of the hill. I mean, depending on how far you gotta get, but it goes down to the neighbor, and I don't know who's the neighbor down there now.
Bubba Swenson.
Swenson, yeah, it was, I knew them before, but then they moved, but that fence goes straight back and there's room for a lot of stuff there, and you wouldn't have it much more building property stuff than you would here for a large hangar. My name's Billy Wald for.
Yeah, no,
And I run.
I hear what you're saying, and I agree. I think before we try and move forward here, we ought to look at some other options.
That road was
That's
put
less
in.
impact.
Okay.
The road was put in 1963 to alleviate the people that sold land so you could extend the runway the first time. Which took all of our property, most of Early's, Sutherland's, several others,
Yeah.
but it was put in to save the mileage of having to drive to 53 or the other way, which weren't even roads at the time, 332. They were gravel and not much. This road was paved. And that was part of the reason for getting rid of a lot of the property.
How much land is available?
Down there,
So,
I would
Right.
say there's over 40 acres.
I would say that there's quite a bit, really. Kyra?
My concern would be it being in the runway protection zone.
Yeah, I think we would just need some more time to
As
evaluate.
far as this off the runway or
Yeah.
further.
You know, just looking at the aerial, and if we're talking about the same location, you know, the space off the end of a runway is protected to some degree.
We're not talking the end of the runway, I'm talking the south side of the runway on the west side of Highway 11. There's a big chunk in there going over towards 2-2 and 4.
You know, we could certainly look at it. I know, I mean, accessibility, you know, that's, I mean, there's certainly challenges, but it's not insurmountable. It's just, you know, anything can be built, but it's just really identifying the feasibility of that site. I know that's, the access to that posed challenges in the study, so that's why it wasn't readily identified as the next building area.
You can't drive off of the old Highway 11 and right into it. I can drive my four-wheeler in there if I cut the pads, go anywhere I want. I mean, I
Yeah,
used to hunt
we can
fish
certainly look at it.
and
If the airport
not fish,
commission
but
wants
hunt.
to evaluate it, we certainly can. I mean, there's no,
Yeah, the other reason we were looking at it over here was for the transient hangar, the big hangar that we have coming in, that we're looking at the RFP on that
What's
also.
wrong with over there? They can taxi over here just as easy. Little extra work for them, but they'd have all the facilities over there. In fact, they'd be out of the road more and more private if they wanted to be.
Like I say, we're studying it right now. We haven't said nothing that we're doing it. They're just going out for an RFP to see if it's feasible.
Well, I'm leaving for the winter, but I'm totally 100% against it. Closing the road. You could put small hangars there, but you got land over there that I feel is acceptable, and I know it's rock and whatever, but it's not swamp unless the dirt they put in along the highway backed up the water and made it swamp. Because I know they built up along Old Highway 11 4 to 6 feet of clay to get rid of clay on the runway. And
Over the top of the rock.
over the top of the rock.
That was before my time.
No, that was two years ago. Well, maybe you were here, but
Well, also, that's the county road 108. At least when I was in the business of building roads, and that was just woods roads, this road, I gotta believe, is well over $1 million a mile. And you guys might know better, Destry, you might know better, but for a tarred road. So you're giving up a county asset of probably well over $1 million for something that maybe you could put elsewhere.
Well, I might as well get my 2 cents worth in here. I'm Bobby Wald. I'm opposed to closing that road too. As Bill said, that was promised us when they bought us out to move, because we lived actually, our house would have been on the end of the runway now, when I was a kid. And 62 or 3, we sold out Early's and Schoberg's and Sutherland's and all them others. And part of the agreement was they would build that road. Because the other road never went out to the highway at that time. And I know things have changed and we got a nice road going to the highway. But I come up that every day, 2 or 3 times a day. But what I would think would make sense for you guys and save you a lot of money, you could put your small hangers out this way, because you got a taxiway right there, and if you're inside the fence, it's pretty short to the taxiway. If you're on the other side of the fence, then you gotta build a runway out to the taxiway for the planes to get over there. And then if you're gonna put a big hangar in, and I assume that would be some kind of commercial plane maybe, or
Probably.
you could put that over there in the corner, just the one, big one, and it's not that big a problem. And this way you would have access through here to get out here, so you kind of control things better. But if there's room inside the fence, that, to me, it'd save a lot of money, which, I don't know, sometimes our government doesn't care about saving money. But the taxiway is right there, and you can have a short out to it. And you could get all, I don't know how many hangars you're thinking of. I've heard 5 to 10 or something like that.
I know we're backed up right now. There's, I believe, 5 people waiting in there, Kyra.
And they would fit out there quite nicely, the regular ones, you already said that. But I'm opposed to closing that road too. I use it a lot. It's a nice drive. And there's another piece of property just east of Schober's property with a for sale sign on it. So somebody else must have property in there where that little trailer house used to sit. I just drove by and the sign is there for sale. So and Bill's right, that's a lot of wetlands out there. The kid, we wandered all through that and it was pretty damp. It's probably dry right now because we haven't had rain in a long time. But anyway, that's my 2 cents worth. I think I better look at my notes. It's not a big list. So that's about all I wanted to bring up.
I'm gonna have engineering look at it, Brian.
Well, I appreciate your comments, and, certainly gives us food for thought. And to do due diligence, I think we should at least explore that opportunity,
Sure.
Especially if you bring up wetlands and what's over there,
Yeah.
things could offset to
Yeah.
make sense,
Okay.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
what the rest of you think, but, Sue's gonna talk.
I'm Susan Congrave. I live just south of the airport, and I'm in total agreement with what's been said. I guess I don't want to be inconvenienced again when they move the road over. As Bob said, they promised that road for us, and I would probably resent any more movement and airport takeover of that road and inconvenience me to go a different route.
Just for background, our family farm was condemned to build that runway. And it's more than an inconvenience for this, when they closed off the road that went right in front of our house. That caused us to have to go an extra, it'd be 2 miles round trip. And that cost us money. And you think, it's just an inconvenience, but it's out of pocket for us. And you don't realize that sometimes. So if you made us do it again, it'd just be twice as much as what we've already had to take out of our pocket for the building of the airport.
Well, I appreciate your comments, and we'll take a look at it.
And Steve is underestimating the miles. The miles are closer to 3 to 3.5. To use that road versus the one here.
Right. Yeah, well, I remember when the road went right straight through. Right straight through.
Four farms that right there.
I'm old enough to remember that.
So what's the next step? Are you going to look at that, it sounds like, again, and see if there's a place for a bigger hangar someplace else?
We can do that.
And keep us in the loop, because we've got a vested interest, especially our family with almost 30 acres on that road that you're talking about closing off. What happens to us? And we like that property. That was part of the original farm. And so it's been in the family for well over 100 years, or about 100 years.
Okay.
I'll definitely keep you in the loop.
Thank you.
Yep.
Are you gonna
Thanks.
talk any more about this today? If you are, I'll stick around, but if you're not, I'll
I
go.
don't think we are we?
Yeah, SEH doesn't have an update on any of
Because
this.
we still have to find out if we're gonna get anybody to even build a big hangar. You know, we gotta figure out what the cost is and anybody gonna lease it if we do, so.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe
Thanks,
we should
guys.
put the hangar in the parking lot here and move the parking lot over by the weather group or something.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Moving on to the minutes.
It looks good to me.
Look good, that sounds like a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
There a motion and second on the minutes, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Financial statement, we have that from you. Any questions on that? You see that ARF specialist for 8,000, Kyra explained to me, that's training on the ARF.
Required every year, correct?
Every year,
Yep,
correct.
for our firemen, yeah.
That was the only one that I had a question on.
Everything else looks good to me.
Well, my ignorance of the airport operator, what's an ARF?
Oh, airport rescue firefighting. Yeah.
Oh, right on that. He had
They
all
used to call it,
got
they used to call it CFR. They used to- back-
Heaven forbid you call it fire truck.
Exactly. Back in the day, the whole nomenclature across the country was CFR, Crash Fire Rescue, which made sense.
Yeah.
Even that building used to be the CFR building, but then the first shot at Woken America was like, well, you can't call it a Crash Fire Rescue, you got to call it something fancy. So that's
yeah.
a change. Good catch.
Did that sound like a motion
I'll
on the
motion it.
financials?
Good.
Motion and second on the financials. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Financials are approved.
Thank you.
Sean, you're up.
Good morning, everyone.
And Chelsea too.
Yep, we have Chelsea and Casey online. Rather brief update. I'll turn it over to Chelsea here just in a second. We're going to go a little bit out of order on your agenda. We just memo in the packet. If you haven't seen the construction out there, we're wrapping up. So final cleanup this week, but I'll turn it over to Chelsea for some of the details of the projects.
All right, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Perfect. So the GA apron reconstruction and runway 422 project is almost wrapped up. Phase 1 has been complete for about 50 days. Phase 2 is scheduled to be completed this week. KGM had some backup with their paving crews. So they had a week where they were essentially unable to do anything. So they are almost done though. They paved last week. Everything is completed there. They're joint sealing this week and they're completing some pavement markings at the end of the week. So maybe starting today actually. So with that, I believe you guys already approved it, but there is a pay application for KGM in the amount of $619,155.61. Any questions on the construction?
That was in the financials? Because that only said 616, but I just looked at the rear on it.
Maybe I typed it wrong in the.
Yeah, on here, 616, 155.
Let me double check that.
Yep, should be 619. That's my error.
619?
Yep.
So that, okay with the motion and the second
Yep.
on the, when we approved the financials, approved it at 616 to change it to 619?
Yep.
Make that change, Kyra. Thanks, Chelsea.
Yep. Any other questions with the construction project?
Oh, it's looking good.
Excellent.
Sounds good. They're hoping to seed and get the haul route removed and get everything completed by the end of this week. There may be a few punch list items remaining, but other than that, they should be substantially complete.
Very good.
As far as equipment acquisition goes, The loader was delivered with all of its components, excluding the plow. So they're still waiting on the delivery of the plow. So we'll keep you updated on that. Hopefully that comes before there's snow.
Yes, that'd be good.
For the aircraft de-icing equipment, they have received the equipment and it's being shipped to the airport. I don't think you guys have received it yet, but it should be there soon. Okay.
And training will start October 13th.
Yep.
Thank
Great.
you.
And Thor's been in contact with them to get that training set up. So.
That'll be fun.
And along with the state equipment, the plow truck has also been ordered. So.
You got a response from Bob?
I did.
Was it? Yeah, maybe.
Yep, from Bob.
Thank you.
Yep, it's been ordered. So that's good. All right, I'll let Sean cover the transient hangar.
Yeah, just a brief update. So it sounds like you would like SEH to provide an update at the next meeting of just the, what I'm envisioning is a recap of the building area planning study. There were deliverables and analysis that was completed by the Airport Commission. Maybe we'd recommend just a short presentation or a handout just so you can see what was evaluated and kind of address some of the concerns of the public. We're certainly willing to do that next meeting. Be prepared. It's a little hard to talk about which areas and specifically the areas that they're talking about. So it'd be nice to get that in front of you so you can kind of see the whole picture of the airport and what was studied and for what reasons and kind of the analysis that was completed during that study. So that's something you would like us to do. We're willing to do that next meeting.
Yeah, but the question I have, going along this side is, we can't go anywhere on this side of the runway that way, correct?
There's
because you're too close to the fence line there too.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of things that are that were studied as part of the master plan, so it's hard to either evaluate or to comment on what they're sharing, just because environmental impacts were accounted for. There's different surfaces. When you imagine the runway, it goes up at a protected surface, so buildings can't be too close to the runway. There are the property lines and setbacks that we had to evaluate. There's access issues and public roads and things that we looked at. All of it, can be changed and modified. But at that time, that was the direction from the Airport Commission to evaluate these structures. So as part of that study, there wasn't a discussion on County Road 108. That wasn't something that the Airport Commission wanted to entertain at that time. But plans change, things change. So I think that's just kind of where that is that you have to reevaluate the plans. But I think first, let's just find out what was studied. If there were any gaps in the plan based on new information or new priorities with the city or the county, we can certainly take a look at that and reevaluate.
I just want to make sure we've done due diligence and figured something out to help alleviate their concerns.
Sure.
I mean, if it doesn't pan out, it doesn't pan out. I mean, economically, we got to look at what's the most cost effective
Safety
area
is
to
the
do
biggest
it.
part, right? Making sure it's safe, how close it is and to the runways and stuff. And
as Barry alluded to, there's a lot of property on the airport that you can't do anything with, whether it's zoning or whether it's protected surfaces from the FAA, and all of that was studied as part of that building study.
Okay.
But I think Brian's right. If we could just, at least we're doing like what you're saying, we're taking a look at
We've
it.
got to take a look at it.
Absolutely.
I mean,
That's all we can do.
yeah. That doesn't
If it
mean
doesn't
we're
pan
going
out,
that
it doesn't pan
route.
out. Then it's a big decision that we have to make,
Yeah,
whether we want to grow or not.
right. And then safety,
Because the
right,
more we
Dora?
can grow, the-
Safety is number one.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Right. So,
And I'd imagine that anywhere out here, you can't build anywhere without having wetland issues.
right.
You can't.
Right.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Well, right out the window, probably.
Oh, literally.
Yeah,
It is, yeah.
I mean,
Wade was sitting here, and that's all he said. He says, Koochiching is 90% wetlands.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
And
true.
he must have said it 100 times in
Yeah.
the years I worked with him.
yeah.
So we'll be prepared for that presentation next month.
Okay, perfect.
Just to give you a little bit of background and continue that. Meanwhile, the transient hangar, we're recommending that you move forward with the RFQ. We've drafted that RFQ. We're about ready to send it to Kyra. But that's essentially a very open-ended opportunity for interested parties to submit a plan. We'll identify the locations that are available now, so we'll not include that 108 any properties on there because you don't own that or it's not buildable at this point. So the RFQ will be just sites that you have available to you on the airport. And it'll be just kind of a short narrative submittal that interested parties will have to submit on how they intend to operate an airport-owned hangar if it were constructed on the airport. They will be, if everybody approves and Kyra agrees, we could have them due prior to the next meeting, so you'll get some sense of who's interested in operating an airport-owned hangar. That will help the viability of moving forward with that project, if that's something you want to move forward with. It's kind of the first step to really just verifying that we're in a position to move forward.
Very good, thank you.
So I don't think you need approvals for that, but I think it'd probably more the acceptance of submitted RFQs and selecting one, but if Kyra thinks differently, we can.
I think we should have a motion to put out that RFQ. And then, just because, I don't know, advertisement, there's gonna be some costs involved.
That's true.
So, we'll need a motion.
I'll make that
We
motion.
have a motion
I'll
and a
second
second to move forward with the RFQ for a transient hangar. Any more discussion on it? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
We'll send that to Kyra for coordination here following the meeting. And then the transient hangar, again, there's a little bit of the RFQ process will inform a little bit on where it goes. We have some conversations with the FAA, and I think that's the next step. So once we have an RFQ that has a responsive submitter and the path looks viable, we'll move forward into like a kind of a pre-design and place the building and kind of work through some of the logistics that would be required for that.
I know we discussed about putting it right here. I'd like to know what your thoughts are as
Absolutely.
manager. I
Yep.
mean, does that make total sense
Makes
to you?
total sense.
I mean,
Yeah.
when I think of it, so far as the apron and everything else, and
It's the
being
best
able
location.
to push or
Mhm.
push back the airplane into there.
Mhm.
To me, that would be the most likely spot
I would agree.
as of right now.
Utilities would be short distance.
Right.
And you got all the utilities.
Right there, close
Right
by.
there, yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
So we'll deliver that to Kyra and be on the agenda for next meeting.
Thank you.
Chelsea, was there anything else on that one? I think we covered it.
No. All right, so with the electric gate, that was approved last meeting, or the meeting before actually. So the design will begin with that soon. Construction for that will be planned next summer, and that's those two additional gates that will be electric powered. So required by the Part 139 inspector, and we will be assisting with getting TSA approval and recommendation for the second gate because the FAA indicated that they would only fund one unless TSA is recommending the second. So we're going to work with them and see if that's something that they recommend.
Very good.
We'll get that done.
Yep.
Very good.
And the questions with the electric gate.
No?
Okay. Runway 1331 reconstruction phase 4. That's the final phase of the runway, the last 1,000 feet. That has been approved at last meeting for design. So the geotechnical borings and the survey will be completed hopefully in the next couple of weeks, just to make sure we try to not see any snow. But that included a survey area that was required by the Part 139 inspection, which is an RSA survey of the far side of runway 1331 between 422 and the end of runway 31. So that will be included in that survey. And that compliance item, I believe, is due in October. So hopefully we meet that deadline. Otherwise, we can get an extension because it's planned. So.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah. For the 2025 state projects, we talked about the pickup truck and plow being ordered, so that's set in motion. The terminal improvements, Brothers Fire and Security, they have ordered all the parts. I have been in contact with them. They are still waiting on one final part. They don't want to come up there and not have that part in hand. So they're waiting on one final thing, and once that's received, they're going to send up 3 technicians to install everything so they can get it done quickly. I know there's been some issues, so I think this will be a good upgrade for the terminal.
Definitely.
Good, thank you.
Any questions with those?
No.
Oh,
All right, for CIP updates, the 2026 CIP items, nothing has changed there. We still have that electrical gate installation, the design, and reimbursable agreement for One Right 1331 Phase 4 that we already talked about. There is the ASOS critical area obstruction removal, and that was shifted location-wise by MnDOT, so those obstructions are actually less, but still need to be removed. So that's planned for 2026. As well as that transient hangar design and construction and that future taxi lane development near County Road 108. The final item on there is the beacon replacement. That project is on the CIP, and the beacon is at the end of its useful life. I feel like it has been for maybe a few years. They have new designs now that allow the beacon to be tipped down to change the light bulb instead of it, having to get all the way up there.
Big safety improvement.
Yeah, and it has a LED bulb, so it lasts significantly longer than the one that's there now. So SEH has a design proposal for your consideration for that beacon replacement in the amount of $43,000.
Maybe one thing to add, that's design and construction, so bring it all the way through construction, and that one is funded by the FAA, 95%, state 2.5%, so it'll be a 2.5% local share split between the state.
yeah. That's all right. I think we need a motion though.
Oh, I'll make that
We
motion.
have a motion and a second to move forward with $43,000 beacon replacement. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, Chelsea.
Yeah, and I think that kind of concludes everything. We do have one final construction meeting. It's not going to be this Thursday. My apologies. We're rescheduling it to next Thursday, and it'll be mostly to just go over some punch list items and make sure everything is wrapped up and complete.
So no meeting tomorrow morning.
Yeah, not tomorrow morning. We'll meet next Thursday.
That's really sad. Let me get a tissue. Sorry.
Anything else, Chelsea?
Yeah.
For me, Sean, do you have anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you for allowing us to be here.
Cool.
Good. Thank you. Moving right along.
Thank you.
Airport entrance sign.
As the group can see
Looks
right
like
now,
we're working
we're
on it
making
all
hay.
day.
Yeah, Bubba and team's in there. Just cement and bricks are just a flying.
They're putting it back together now.
Already,
Like
yep.
that.
We've got all the materials on site, so yeah, very fast. Very well done.
Very good.
Yep, and
Good to
then Curdy Kenny, we were replacing the light, the fixture. That's 1978 model, so putting new LED on there, so it'll be
You get an
fancy.
LED one now.
I'm telling you.
I got rid of all the bushes so you can read the sign.
Oh, thank God. Juniper, yeah. Reminds me of that aunt I had, a bad woman. I'm sorry. Terrible. Yeah.
All right. Bob Anderson terminal ribbon cutting.
Yes, chatted with Robin Anderson last week, and following as planned, and haven't quite got it dialed in, but I'm pretty confident it's going to happen in October, coordinating with the annual Bob Anderson Shack Party, and probably would have it on a Friday of that weekend. So as soon as the family gets it all together, and they'll let me know, and then I'll put out an email to the group to tell you what
Okay.
day.
And that'll probably happen before our next meeting.
For sure. Yep.
Have to make sure we get that out to everyone. So.
Yep. That's exactly the plan.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
Anybody have anything in new business? Hearing none. Managers report.
Quickly, I apologize. I didn't make the meeting last week. Yeah, a little touch of the COVID, which is kind of cool. Been a month into it now, so I'm happy. I'm alive, vertical. I'm good. Yeah, but I realized how old I am. I'm 64, going on 75. I believe, and I was talking to Kyra about it, I think that's the first commission meeting I've missed. That's 35 years. So yes, anyway.
You're young.
Miss another one.
True, don't, I know.
60.
Fell apart. Yeah, I know.
Holy smokes, right, Brad? Yeah, young.
Yeah, carbon dated, yeah. So anyway, but I apologize. I didn't make it. Quickly, I should have jumped in where Chelsea was with the equipment acquisition. One of the things that I've chatted with Chelsea and Sean about is that to put on the list. And I think we already have a large new mower. I think we just need to move it up a couple of notches. Our current large mower, our TV 140, 22-foot deck, 3-foil deck mower. We're past the 20-year mark on it now, I believe, and it's definitively we're using up a lot of welding rod. So we're
Sure.
So we definitely need to move that up to the top on the priority list for equipment. Just a little brief background on that unit. What we did in the past was this: we were always creative in financing and trying to do the best thing with the money. That's kind of a unique one. The FA, so this airport, this size, and I don't know if the rules still, I don't know if the same template applies today. We were allowed 2 loaders. Okay, the airport of the side is allowed 2 loaders. So what we did was we used to keep the financing strictly on the FA side to be a much more better cost effective for the local dollar versus the state side. So instead of being 95.5 or the state side then was 60.40. So what we did was, and I don't know, was Sean, no, you weren't even with us at that point. It was Ray, anyway, what we did was because it was a bi-directional tractor and you could put a loader bucket on it, we funded that at 95.5, that portion of the tractor, and then we funded the 3 mower decks on the state side at 60.40. That was a cost savings. And unfortunately, this time we're not going to be able to do that. I mean, it's going to be a pure mower, which will be a 60-40, 70-30 grant.
70-30. I believe it's
70-30 probably is my guess.
Yeah.
So anyway, and obviously we'll keep you in the loop of what we're out there.
Gotta have them more.
Yeah, and I just can't emphasize enough that it's definitely
20 years, that's pretty good.
That's the big tired one, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So it's been used. I guarantee you, we've got utility out of it, but it's getting time for sure.
Okay.
Long on the tooth.
Yeah.
So anyway, other than that, projects have been going along very well. Credit to my team with Kyra and Chelsea, Sean, SEH team, KGM. Everybody's been doing very well, pushing very hard, trying our best to get it done. So just thankful that we are where we are today and just keep pushing. But yeah.
And we had pretty good weather through all that.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
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 Getting prepared now for winter, which is unfortunate. That's happens every year. You might as well complain about it and get it done with because it's coming. Exactly.
Well, Ricky and I are waiting for that bucket truck.
There you go, nice and cozy, nice and warm. I think you don't like the open bucket, but
I
I'm
like
guessing
the open bucket.
I know,
I'm
but I'm
sorry.
guessing you're getting that nice warm cozy.
I don't mind it. I can get it done in 5 minutes instead of
I hate
20
But
minutes.
for nobody here to ever be in an enclosed bucket,
Yeah,
there's going to have to be some
real training.
real training on it.
Yeah,
yes.
that's going to take a lot of training.
Sure.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, anything else?
No, that's all I got. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kyra.
Employments are in the packet. We were up last month over last year, so that's good. Overall, so far for the year, we're at 10,658 employments. I also updated the employments for 2024, as FA had updated all of those numbers, and so our total numbers for 2024 was 14,842 employments, which was an 11.79 increase over 2023. So we continue to see that upward trend, which is good. I think that's really all I have.
That is a good trend. And we still got a couple more Sun Country flights too. So that'll help keep us up there. So nothing else, Kyra?
Nothing else that I can think of. the chairs in here, a lot of them are, they're kind of rickety. Paul, we
case
just
people
got
didn't
new chairs
understand.
for over at the cold test building, and they're really nice chairs. I'd like to see about getting a quote of what it would cost to replace the chairs in here with chairs that are similar. Because I think they've served their purpose and they're about at the end of their life as well. A lot of the armrests are almost falling off, and so I think we paid about $250 per chair for the ones that Paul got, but I was gonna see if there's any kind of price break with having a higher quantity, so.
Well, you can let us know next month.
Will do.
Okay. Any other business to come before the commission? Next meeting.
You're on it
I'm
today.
getting there.
We got deliveries.
I love it.
Paul's not here because usually he's.
October. There we go. I'm sorry.
29th?
I'm free.
29th.
Okay.
8 a.m.
29th it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We're adjourned.
All right.